Hey, how's it going? Mark Linder, your friendly real estate broker at the 1-8 Real Estate Group. Coming to you live and direct here. Real quick, briefly, wanted to share something very powerful. Some of you have heard this before, but you know, repetition is the best teacher. I just want to share something that's very near and dear to my heart, something that has truly impacted my real estate business, something that has just been a phenomenal cornerstone of my business. It's very basic, it's very simple, and many of you have already heard me share this with you, but I wanted to just show you how this is not an old concept. It affected my life yesterday. So yesterday I was in one of these moods, and I woke up, just didn't feel like working my business. I didn't feel like coming into the office. I didn't feel like doing the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing to reach the goals that I've set in my heart to accomplish for me and for my wife and my kids and for my family, to provide them opportunities, you know? And I'm trying my best to be a person that works very hard and runs my business like a business. But let's be honest, some days you just wake up and you're just not feeling it. So I sat in here getting ready to bust out my calls, and I just didn't feel like doing it, man. And so I began to just search, and I prayed a little bit, and I was just searching. I was just like, what is up with me today, right? And so anyway, what I did was I kind of began to think about, okay, well, where did I start? Where am I at now? Began to kind of celebrate some of the victories that I've had over the years in the business. And then I began to kind of get my mind right, try to get my focus right. And I wrote down on paper, again, my goals. I don't know how many times I can tell myself this. This is the most important thing in this business, is having goals. So many realtors out there, so many small business owners, even people working corporate jobs, don't have a goal. Now they say stuff that sounds like a goal, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and yeah, I wanna take a lot of vacations, and I want this and I want that. Okay, that sounds great, but you can't stop there. You gotta say to yourself, okay, there's the finish line. Now, how am I gonna actually get through this race? How am I gonna jump over the hurdles, break through the walls, get up when I'm knocked down? How am I gonna get to that finish line? Because if you think for a second that you're just gonna waltz in there on cruise control, it ain't happening, Captain. I'm telling you. So this is why I come back. You gotta have some foundational staples in your business to lean on, and I did that yesterday, and here it is. I'm telling you, this is powerful. We're gonna talk about the number 200. First of all, yesterday, as of yesterday, there were 200 work days left in 2018. That means 200 opportunities for you and for me to reach our goals. There's no such thing as a wrong goal, but quantify it. Then the other main thing I want to talk about is 200 to 1 ratio. What I mean by this is, for every 200 contacts you make with a human being talking about real estate, you are going to get 1 transaction. Now that's general rule of thumb. Some are less, some are more, but the general rule of thumb is what I've found in my business is a 200 to 1 ratio. So if you're making those contacts, you're going to get that transaction. So let's base it off of that. Now, that's internet leads. Now, let me just clarify what a reach out is. That's 200 reach outs. A reach out is a face-to-face conversation, is a text, a video text, a phone call, obviously door knocking, open houses, any interchange you have with a human being, that's a reach out. Okay? And internet leads is primarily what I'm going to talk about. Facebook, Google pay-per-click, conversion, Craigslist, wherever you're pulling these leads from the internet, this is what it takes. It takes a massive amount of phone calls and follow-ups with these people. Now, what do you say? Well, Mark, I don't have 200 people in my database. It doesn't matter. If you have 50 in your database, you can hit them every other week. You can just dial through them, because a lot of them aren't going to answer. You need to have a conversation with a human being, and an email is not going to cut it. So this is what I hid behind back in the day when I made 50, 60. Then when I got a little bit more aggressive and said, no, that's not good enough, I need a conversation. That's when I set a standard for myself and got up to the 200 range in GCI. So now, if you take this now, the 200 to 1 ratio, yesterday I said, okay, Mark, you got to define your goal. You're in this funk, you got to define your goal. What is your goal? Get back to your roots, man. And so I said, my goal is I really, I set a goal last year to make $300,000, but I didn't hit it. My contacts were going to be 40 a day. Had I made my 40 a day consistently, I probably would have hit 300. But where is that variation? Because, man, some stuff came up. We get busy. Then we don't make the phone calls. So it's all coming down to this. In my business and in yours, it's not going to change. No technology is going to change this. It comes down to conversations with human beings about real estate. Yeah, you might get lucky. Somebody call me up and say, come list me. Okay? But if you want to have a quantifiable business that you can measure and track, and you know that you're going to have enough business to support you and your family, you need to know these numbers here. Now, I said to myself, well, let's start with contacts. Now, you can start anywhere you want. You can start with, these are the amount of contacts I'm willing to make per day. 5, 10, 15, 20. Or you can start with a GCI goal. Either way, I can reverse engineer you to either point. So let's do 2 examples, one of each. I'm going to start with what I came up with yesterday. I said to myself, man, I can make 100 contacts a day. I've got mojo, I've got plenty of contacts. I can do 100 a day. Now, what is that going to get me? So I plugged it in. I said, well, 100 a day. I've got 200 work days left, right? So that's going to generate me 20,000 contacts, reach outs, right? That I've got to make 20,000 of them in 2018 in order for me to reach my goal. And so I said, okay, so what is that going to bring me? What can I speculate as to the amount of money that will bring? So it's very simple. With our 200 to 1 ratio, with 20,000 contacts, okay, we're going to take this 20,000 and we're going to 200, we're going to put it into that 20,000, and obviously we're going to get 100 transactions. So if I make $100 a day, I'm going to get 100 transactions. Now, I'm going to get busy. I might have to hire some people, but I can't let anything deter me from making my 100 dials. That's how you got to get with this thing. So 100 dials, 100 transactions. And so the next question to ask yourself is, what is my average commission? Well, for me, I've figured out in my business it's 7,500. Some of you, it might be 10,000. Some of you, it might be 5K. But for me, it's right there at 7,500. So now, very simple. We take the 7,500, we multiply it by 100, and now I have 750K in GCI. So we got a 200 to 1 ratio. I'm going to get the $750,000 in GCI. Hey, I can live with that. That's all right. I can do quite a few things with that. Bless a lot of people, do a lot of powerful things, and give my family opportunities, right? So that's how you do it if you decide from a reach out standpoint. Now, what if I can't get those 100 dials, and what if you're saying, look, I don't know how many dials I'm willing to do, Mark, but I only need 250,000. All right, let's start from there. I want $250,000 in GCI. Taking our 200 to 1 formula, how are we going to break this down? Okay, so first of all, you have to ask yourself the question, what is your average commission? Well, let's say in this example, it's 10K. So I know that based on that, I'm going to have 25 deals to get my 250, because 25 times 10 is the $250,000, right? So I need 25 transactions. So, very simple. I'm going to take my 200 to 1 ratio times 25. Bam, 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 bam. 5,000 contacts in 2018. will give you 250K. Now, so then you have to ask yourself the question, well, Mark, how many contacts is that per day? You got to take that big lofty goal, compress it down into your daily activity. We got to win the day. Every day, we have 200 opportunities to win every day. So, based on that, how many contacts is that going to end up being? Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to end up being 25 contacts a day. Because 5,000 divided by 200 is going to be 25. So 25 contacts a day to make $250,000 in GCI. Man, that's easy. If you will commit to making those $25 a day and just do it, whether they tell you to go fly a kite, or they say, come list my house, or show me a house, or sign a contract, buy a rep agreement with you, whatever the case may be, if you'll make those 25 phone calls a day, you can make $250,000 this year, right now in 2018, because you've got 200 opportunities to do it. That's pretty slick. Case in point, let me just share this last thing with you, then I'll let you go. Case in point right here. This morning, so far, I have made 54 phone calls. All right? I have had 16 conversations. 54 phone calls, I've had 16 conversations. That's really good. And out of those 16 conversations, I've got one seller and I've got 3 buyers. Now, I don't know how many of those are going to end up working out, but man, that 54 phone calls generated some activity. Now I've got 46 more phone calls to make. I don't care if you got to pick up the phone book and circle prospect. You can find 25 numbers and make the 250. This is for me shooting for my 750. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you realize how powerful this can be in your business. There's a lot of things out there that can help you. There's way better motivational speakers out there than me. I'm just telling you what worked in my business. I'm telling you how I went from 50 to 200, and it was just by simply plugging this principle in and expecting more from myself on a daily basis. Am I going to hit it every day? I don't know. I'm going to try. And that's another thing. I'll leave you with this. Set lofty goals. Set a high bar for yourself. Set a high goal for yourself. Because if you set a low goal, then what happens is when you reach it, you let up. When I set a high goal, like higher than what I can maybe even obtain, I'm always pushing to be the best. I'm always pushing to be the best. I never let up. I'm always pressing forward for the high calling of this thing, right? Anyway, this is Mark Linder signing out. I hope this helps you. If you got any questions, holler at me. But put this 200-to-1 ratio to work for you. Either set an amount of calls you will agree to make, or set a GCI goal and reverse engineer that thing. Commit to a certain amount of contacts per day and go get it. Talk to you later.